When it comes to trading, there are really just two types of people. We're either the winner or we're the loser. And statistics tell us that 10% of the people are winners and 90% of the people are losers. So it would be really beneficial and really supportive for us to really study both groups of people and look at what they're doing that makes them fall into that particular category. And when I say like study them and look at them, what I'm talking about is like the obvious is how are they trading? What strategy are they using? Which actually really doesn't matter because we can trade anything, right? But what matters is like how are they approaching a trade? How are they thinking about it? And what's their relationship with money? What are their money beliefs? Are they operating in lack or are they operating in abundance? So like how are they being as a trader? How they're being with money? So we have to like really study all of these things and not just how they're trading, what strategy they're using, or what I don't even know what the name of all the tools like the Fibonacci's and the MACD's and like all the things that you can use to measure, like to like chart out your stuff, right? All these charting tools really doesn't matter because it like these are just tools and everybody has a preference of what tools they want to use, right? Like it really has nothing to whether they win or not. But like what really matters, whether they win or not, is what is up here. Because when we're trading, we think that it's us against the market. Like we think that we're trading against the market, but really no, the market does what the market does. We're really up against what is up in here. Our thinking patterns, our belief system, our relationship with money, what makes us think is safe to receive, how much money do we think it's safe to have, to make. So we're like really playing against all these psychological things because we're the ones making the decisions, right? And then a lot of times it's all these subconscious things that we are not aware of that comes out when we're trading. So then we wonder why the 90% of the people lose. It's because of all of this up there. So as I'm processing this, just reflecting on my who I was as a trader in the past and just looking at the people who are trading, one of the things that I recognize is that is holding us and keeping us in the 90% loser category is we have this innate not desire, but we want to be right. Like we feel so strongly about our convictions and we want to be right. So when it comes to trading, when you like we could do all the fundamentals research of a particular company or a particular instrument that you want to engage with, and we can chart it all out and do all the technical analysis and all of that stuff. So when we make a decision to engage in a particular instrument and to trade it the way that we want to, we are so strong in our conviction that the decisions that we're making is right. That's why we do all the research, right? To prove that we are right. And this doesn't just apply just to trading. We do this in every area of our life, right? Like think about how many times you've gotten into a fight with your partner. I think I'm right. He thinks he's right. And now we have an argument, right? And then at the end, really nobody wins. So at the end, like really I have to ask myself, do I want to be right or do I want peace? Yes. So when it comes to trading, it's the same thing. Do I want to be right or do I want to make money? So like let's dive deeper into why we hold so strongly to wanting to be right. And it really like we've been programmed to want to be right. And like when you think about it, when we were in school as kids, we've been given a test, and if you answer the questions correctly and you get a good score on your test, like we make meaning about everything, right? So when that happens, we make it mean that we are smart. We are perhaps better than other people who didn't like get the same score, who got a lower score. Like we're like a good student, right? And then when other people affirm our results, like our parents saying that, oh, you scored so good on your test, good job, let's go get ice cream to celebrate, whatever the thing is, like that gets affirmed that being right feels really good and we are rewarded by being right, right? And then, of course, now we also tie that into who we are and in our identity because now we think that I'm so good and I'm worthy because I scored well on my test versus somebody who didn't score well on their test, and it obviously happened to me too, where I didn't score well on a test, and now we make that mean something about that, right? Like I got a low score, it means that I am not smart, right? We make that mean that we are not smart and perhaps we're dumb. And maybe we get made fun of in school by other students that, you didn't get a good mark. And now they reaffirm us that we're not smart enough. And therefore, I'm not a good student. And now that like means that like we make it mean all sorts of things about ourselves, right? And then therefore, I'm not good enough as a person and I'm not worthy as a person. So like we go into this like this attack of identity, if you will. So we've been trained since we were little that feeling right is good because it feels good and being wrong is bad and we get made fun of and that doesn't feel good, right? So that's why like we just want to so strongly to be right because it doesn't feel good to be bad. That's why. So sorry, let me just rephrase that. So we want to be right because we are avoiding the feeling of being wrong because being wrong does not feel good. Like period, end of story, right? So how do we shift? Because this is the type of thinking that is keeping us in the loser 90% category. So then how do we then shift over and transition to the 10%? Well, awareness, like having awareness that this is what our brain is doing is the first step, okay? And now you know that. So then one thing that I notice with my coaching clients when it comes to money and making investment decisions is we are so afraid of making mistakes, which means that because making a mistake mean that I am wrong, right? So now we're like back into the same cycle of not wanting to feel bad, not wanting to make a mistake, and also making a mistake means that the result is that I will lose money. Or so we think. Like that's like a perceived fear that we have of making mistakes. And then so the way to look at it as I'm doing my own processing is, what if I could just change my mind? What if right and wrong is just an illusion that we bought into because we're human? We've been programmed, we've been trained to look at life as right or wrong. What if it's just an illusion? Because on a soul level, like as a soul, there's no right or wrong. Maybe this is going a little bit too deep. But let's just like play with that idea. Like, let's just play what if? What if there's no right or wrong? And then if I chose something, can I just, if I don't like it, can I change my mind? Like, it's really that simple. And the way I coach my client through this is I try out a new restaurant, right? I've like done my Google research. We've all done that, right? When we want to go out to eat, say at a new town that we're in, we go to Google and then we like look at all the options and we look at all the reviews and we pick the one with the most stars, right? Which means that like this is a good restaurant. I want to experience good food. And then what if when I go there, the food sucked and the service sucked and I absolutely hate it? Well, that's okay. Like, am I wrong? Did I make a mistake? Well, maybe, but can I just not go back? Can I just decide that, okay, like that's it. Like I didn't like this restaurant. That's just personal preference. It didn't work out for me. And next time I would just choose something else. Like it's as simple as that. Or if I go into a restaurant and I ordered this dish and I didn't like it, Well, next time I go back, I just order something else. Like I can change my mind at any time, right? We don't need to make it mean anything about ourselves or identity or who we are or worth or value. Like we don't need to do any of that. Like that doesn't support us. That does not serve us at all when we go into that. When we go into that, it doesn't serve us at all. So like what if we just kept it really simple? I made a choice. I didn't like it. Now I get to change my mind. It's as simple as that, right? And maybe you have to lose some money in the process. And even like the whole thing around losing is another thing that I dive really deep into. And I'll link the video of where I talk about losing and why we don't like losing. Because I think this is like such an interesting conversation and awareness to have around losing. But go and just keep it on topic with the decisions that we make. Okay, so what if we decide to give away some of our money so that we can get out of the situation that we're in that we don't like, and then we just change our mind and do the opposite, right? So if I bought in Tesla and I thought it was going up, now it's going down. Okay, no worries. I just pay a little money. I just pay a little bit of money to exit the trade. And then now I just get back in selling it because that's the direction the stock is headed. So I just like follow the stock, whether it's going up or down. I just follow that. And if it's not going in the direction that I thought it would go, no biggie. I just pay a little bit of money to get out of that situation, and I change my mind and I change directions. Like could it be as simple as that? Right? Because 10% of the people do that. Right? Like my mentor who's teaching me this concept of you are wrong until you are proven correct. Like, so like this is his concept that he's teaching. And like, of course, there's me like doing a lot more contemplation into these things, that these mindsets that puts him in the 10% winner category. So yeah, what if it's just as simple as that? What if we just get to change our mind? Don't need to make it mean anything about us. It's no biggie. Just change my mind. If I don't like red, I'll get blue. It's that simple. It's that simple. So yeah, it's really that simple. And when we can shift quickly like that, when we can move with the market and we can change our mind quickly, that puts us in the 10% category. Like, how amazing is that? That's all it takes. Not like that's the only thing that it takes, but that's one of the traits, habits, mindset, thinking pattern of a 10% profitable trader.